This video will show you 3 ways to match the vibration of what you want to attract, and I'm going to share with you some practical tools that you can apply to really make that happen. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to share with you some tools that you can use in your own life when it comes to understanding that in order to experience what we want with the law of attraction, we must first resonate with the reality we want to experience. Now what this means is that our thoughts, our feelings, our actions must all line up to what we want to experience to really have and attract what we want. Now, the powerful part of knowing this is that there's little things that we can do in our everyday life that can allow us to really feel like we already have what we want, to really behave as if that is something that's true for us, and to really create the consistent patterns in our mind that are necessary to experience what we want. Now, the first way to go about this has to do with the power of using our body. Think about this in the way of using our physiology. This is something that I originally learned from Tony Robbins. You'll learn about it in NLP if you study neuro-linguistic programming, which is all about understanding how we can optimize using our brain to optimize what we experience in our life. Now, with using our physiology, what we can do is we can behave and breathe and act as if we already have what we want. Now, what I mean by that is if I were to ask you right now to act as if you are the confident person that you want to be, if you were to imagine in your mind right now you being confident, how would you act? How would you stand? What is your posture like? What is your breathing like? Is it shallow or is it very deep breaths? How are you feeling inside of your body? What kind of words are you saying? Like, how are you saying those words? How are you talking to yourself? What is your inner dialogue? As you look at all of these things, you're going to notice that when you start to match that up, you will literally start to feel differently about who you are. Now, the power in changing your physiology is you immediately change how you feel, and over time, this will create a new self-image for yourself. You will start to look at yourself in a completely new way because you will literally feel different about yourself. Now, if you say to yourself, well, I can't act as if I already have that, I don't know what that would be. Act as if you knew how to act as if. So it's almost like you just pretend that you know what that is, and then you continue to use that and match up your body language to it. So realize you can use this in many ways, but you can really pretend and know, but you can really use the power of belief, the power of knowing, and the power of your physiology to match up to the reality of what you want to prefer. And as you do that, that's when things really begin to change in your life, because you start to actually resonate with those desires. You know, many times we might be focused on having a certain lifestyle, but unless we can actually see ourselves there and actually feel as if that is who we are, we won't actually resonate with it, which is why it's important to understand that using our physiology is powerful for feeling the way that we actually want. Now, the second way to go about this is to make sure that we are being completely congruent to the vision and the reality that we want to resonate with. Now, what I mean by this is many times we are thinking about ourselves in a certain way. We have inter-dialogue, ways that we think about who we are. And the power of knowing this is the power of tonality and the power of how we influence our subconscious mind and really just our mind in general. Now, the first one was more about changing our body. This one's more about changing our inner dialogue and the way we speak to ourselves. So as you hear me speak right now, you'll notice I use a certain tonality. This is just natural. This is the way I speak, but I speak in a very assertive, confident way. And maybe if you watched my videos before, you may be able to see that maybe that's something that you like, is like the way that I speak and the tonality that I use. Now, with that, realize that we are constantly talking to ourselves in a certain type of inner dialogue. And many times, people are talking to themselves in a very wishy-washy type way. It's like we're talking to ourselves and we're like, could I do that? I'm not sure if I could. The tonality of the way we speak to ourselves, maybe not speak out loud, but the way we think to ourselves may be very like not confident may be very incongruent to what we really want to experience. So the key to this is to start to change your inner dialogue, make it louder and assertive, not in a controlling way, but assertive in the way that you are influencing your subconscious mind, because when you say something, you do it. When you think something, you're very assertive. When you decide that you want to do something, and that then from that point of view, with repetition, you will start to view yourself differently. You will start to feel like there's more of a connection with you being somebody that goes after what they want, that is able to resonate with the reality they want, because when they decide they're going to do something, they follow through because of the inner dialogue that we use. So I found inner dialogue and changing my inner dialogue to be very powerful. What I do is anytime that I feel that my words aren't being powerful or that I'm thinking to myself in a wishy-washy way, what I do is I just change the modality or the way that I think. And as I start to put that in the direction of what I want to experience, it changes everything. I start to feel much more confident, and I'm starting to actually create the patterns in my own mind of being able to experience what I want. Now, the third way to match the vibration of what you want to experience has to do with imagining the whole scenario of what you want to attract, and imagine how each area of your life would change. Now, what I mean by this is if your intention is to attract a relationship or to attract the perfect job or to create your own business and be successful, don't just view the money aspect of it or even the relationship aspect of it. Imagine it in a completely holistic way, because as you start to link up your thoughts to that, you're really connecting to different parts of that version of you and of what you want to experience. Now, let me give an example of that. Maybe if your intention is to attract a relationship, you look at the kind of relationship you want to attract. There's a certain person, but don't just focus on that person. Focus on how your daily routine would change, because then you're living with someone else and you are sleeping in the same room with them. You have a different type of daily activities you would be doing. Think about what that would mean. On top of that, think of the kind of vacations you would go on. Think of how that might change the family dynamic if you have kids or if you want to have kids. Think about all the little things that would be entrained with that rather than just a specific person. If it has to do with money and attracting more money, the idea is that instead of just focus on the money aspect of it, imagine how that would change your relationships. Imagine how that would change the relationships you already have and the kind of people that you're going to begin to resonate with. Imagine the daily activities you would be doing. Imagine if you had the freedom to do all of those things because you have the money. Imagine that you can choose what you do every day because you have that freedom. You see, as you look at these things in new ways and you make it a more holistic type view, you're going to be connecting with that reality in a much deeper way because you're thinking about it in a more holistic way rather than just the actual focus of whatever that thing is. So imagine how relationships will affect your money, or relationships will affect your relationships with other people. Imagine all of these things, and you're going to start to connect to it in a completely new way, and you'll find that then you're going to start to pull towards it in a new, powerful way as well. So remember, all you have to do to match the vibration of what you want to attract has to do with, first off, from a physical point of view, match up your physiology by changing your breathing, by changing the patterns of how you move, linking up the body language. As you do that, you will literally start to feel different about yourself. You will be breathing in a new way, you'll be feeling in a new way, and that makes it much more likely that you will perceive of opportunities into your life that can match up to that reality, and you will just completely start to see your self-image in a new way as well. The second thing is the inner dialogue that you have. Learn how to observe the inner dialogue and let go of any wishy-washy type tonality. Start to know that you can put it in the direction of what you want to do. You can be more decisive, and as you are decisive, you are literally cutting off the realities that don't serve, and that's why the word decisive actually is rooted in the meaning to cut off from. You are letting go of the wishy-washiness. You're letting go of the indecisiveness, and you're allowing yourself to really choose what you prefer. And then thirdly, as you simply let go of any type of simplistic type single view of what you want to attract, you start to see it in a holistic way instead. You know that there's different areas of your life will change, and you start to focus on those as well. You're connecting to it in a much deeper way, and you're much more likely to actually attract what you want. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification gear next to the subscribe button so that you're able to see the the daily vids that I upload. Also, in the description box, you'll see a free PDF that I made on the top 3 law of attraction techniques that have changed my life, and you can download that by clicking on the link. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.